Hello, and welcome to another episode of Appalachian Monsters and Mysteries. I'm Belle.
And I'm Miley.
And today we're going to be talking about the Lizard Man of Scape Ore Swamp in South Carolina.
It's been a while since we've talked about monsters, so I'm super pumped about this episode.
I know, this is our first creepy little cryptid of the season.
Yay.
Well, he's not little, he's like 7 feet tall, but
we'll get into that.
Yeah. So he's also known as the Lizard Man of Lee County, which is in South Carolina, obviously. But Lizard Man of Scape Ore Swamp sounds way cooler.
Yeah, for sure.
So a lot of people believe that the tales of this lizard man started in the late 80s. But
that's pretty recently.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
That's not that long ago.
No, not at all.
Well, I mean, it's like 40 years ago, but
what is time?
Theory. What is time? But actually, Native Americans were writing about this creature in 1929.
Oh.
Yeah. So the story goes that a man had found a bear in a tree. So a hunting group got together to smoke the bear out and kill it. I didn't know what smoking it out meant. That means basically burning the tree down.
Oh, I also didn't know that.
From what I could find, that literally just...
Does it get down? They catch the tree on fire? How's it going to get down? If they catch the... Are they just trying to burn it to death? The bear?
I don't know. I feel like...
I don't know either. There are a lot of bear hunters around here, but they definitely don't do that.
No.
They have dogs that chase the bears.
It's sad. Just leave bears alone, guys.
Yeah.
What'd they ever do to you?
They're really cute. I think bears are cute.
A
little scary.
I saw a bear not long ago on the... Here's some Appalachian talk for you. On the new road.
Oh, yeah. The new road.
The new road.
Yeah.
I saw a bear. It was a baby bear.
Aw.
It was small.
I love a good little baby bear.
So they were smoking this bear out, trying to kill it. But when they began the process of smoking this bear out, a large lizard came out of the tree instead.
Oh, could you imagine? I figure that this is I want to imagine that this is a bunch of old men, okay?
I mean,
who wanted
these are
to
like these are like Native American men.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they wanted to get this bear out of the tree.
Yeah.
And out comes this huge lizard. Can you imagine?
That would be a nightmare.
Okay, please continue. Did they run away? Did they try to kill it? I have to know.
So the lizard began to chase the men, which we've heard
even
this
better.
before.
Yeah, we have.
It was what was that thing called? Man. We've done so many cryptids that are lizard-based.
I know, yeah.
But, the Pope Lick, the Pope Lick monster.
Oh.
A very similar story. So he captured and dragged multiple men back to the tree before the last one got away. The lizard was then attacked by what he believed to be a tiger. The two creatures fought while the last man ran from the scene.
I doubt
it was, honestly, I doubt it was a tiger because this is South Carolina and even in 1929,
but they probably have other large cats though, right?
Yeah. I mean, this man was being chased by a giant lizard. You're gonna
yeah.
Things are not going to make sense.
I saw this huge fairy coming at me.
Yeah, exactly. So it was
probably panic.
It was probably a mountain lion. Honestly, it could have been like a panther.
Yeah,
honestly.
Right.
Anything like that. We have panthers. Yeah.
My grandfather has seen a black panther before. He's told the story about it like preying on him. I guess, or he was the prey.
Have a mental breakdown if I saw a panther.
Yeah.
For some reason, panthers are so much more intimidating to me than like a tiger, even though they're so freaking fast. Cats are so fast.
Yeah, they are.
But yeah, he claims he saw a tiger, and when the two creatures began to fight is when he got the opportunity to run away. What he probably saw was like a mountain lion,
right,
or a panther or something like that. But this was 1929.
Yeah, who knows?
So the more modern sightings begin in the fall of 1987.
87?
Yeah, so it was...
What in the world?
This was not that long ago.
No.
There was a sighting of the lizard man by George Holloman Jr. Holloman was 31 years old. He was a construction worker who decided to ride his bike to a freshwater spring at 12:30 a.m.
Had to think. AM? Midnight, correct?
Yeah, I don't know
Okay,
what this man
12:30.
was doing.
Okay. Maybe he was just thirsty. Want to go to a
glass
spree?
of water
I don't
from
know.
your tap.
I don't know. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt, but it's hard sometimes, you know?
Yeah, this man doesn't make much sense to me,
No, it
honestly,
doesn't.
But whatever. If you want to drive your... Nope. If you want to ride your bike
Yeah.
to a freshwater spring in the middle of the night, that's your business, not
Have
mine.
at it.
He drank from the spring, lit a cigarette. A cigarette. It says it was a cigarette. But if this man's going out to the middle... I'm not trying to make any assumptions here, but I'm kind of making an assumption. So when he turned around after he lit a cigarette, quotation marks, he saw a creature across the road. At first, believing it was a dead tree struck by lightning, he continued to stare at it. Because what else are you going to look at in the woods, honestly? In the middle of the night.
Yeah, I was going to say, when it's that dark, it's kind of like when you're in your bedroom at night and there's just something there, whether it be a lamp or a pile of clothes that you haven't folded yet.
Exactly.
And it just looks odd. I stare at it. I remember one time I was laying in bed and I could have sworn that I saw a man standing in the corner of my room. But I think I just like fell asleep and I kind of dreamt it halfway.
Oh, kind of like that, like in between state. Yeah, that's when people have like sleep paralysis.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Stuff,
I think I might have actually. I forgot that happened. But you know, you just stare at it to try to figure out what's going on.
I had sleep paralysis once and I saw Christopher Walken.
What?
Fun fact about me. And so then this dead tree moved. So obviously it wasn't a tree.
Yeah, I was going to say, probably not a dead tree.
He claimed it was between 7 and 8 feet tall, stood like a man, and as a car drove by, saw that its eyes glowed red as the light passed.
Ooh,
yeah.
Creepy.
The lizard man then turned around and headed back towards the swamp.
Wait, was that all he saw? Did it just look like a man, but was really tall and had red eyes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Holloman believed he had seen a hant, which is what those of like rural communities call ghosts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've never heard that term.
Me either.
But it could be like a deep south kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he called it a hant.
Hmm.
Honestly, with an accent, he could have been saying haunt.
Yeah, that's a good possibility.
When you
honestly.
have a deep accent, some people just can't understand a thing that you say. So
Yeah,
we
true.
understand how that is. And our accents, believe it or not, are not that bad.
No, not for around here.
Yeah. Unless I start to get tired or mad, then my accent gets worse. I've noticed that.
Or when we're singing
When we're singing Picture to Burn
yeah.
by Taylor Swift. Yeah,
but it doesn't matter where you're from. When you sing that song, you automatically have a more country accent.
I guarantee you if she would sing that song again in concert, her accent would come back too.
Oh, yeah.
So for some time, Holloman never spoke of what happened. And when he did finally tell his family, they called him a fool.
Oh,
felt really bad for this guy.
Sad.
That's honestly really rude. His family was kind of being jerks.
Well, no wonder he didn't say anything.
Yeah.
He probably knew.
Yeah,
Which
he probably did.
Also, I feel like that probably would happen with my family as well. They'd be like, "You're being dumb. Stop."
Yeah.
We talked about it before. That's why people don't come forward, because people treat them so differently.
Yeah, that's why I don't blame people for not coming forward with a lot of this stuff, because people are gonna be like, "Did you hear about what that crazy person thinks that they saw?"
But also, some people make things up to get attention.
Oh, yeah,
so
totally.
I see both sides, really.
I agree. So now onto the story that has created the phenomena that is the lizard man of Scape Ore Swamp.
Yay.
On June 29th, 1988, Christopher Davis, a 17-year-old, came in contact with the creature. At 2 a.m. on his way home from work, Christopher's car tire blew on the road next to Scape Ore Swamp. After he had finished up changing the tire, he began hearing loud thumping noises behind him. when suddenly out of the darkness, he saw the monster running towards him.
Oh, I got a little bit of chills. The thought, because that could actually happen. I mean, like your tire blowing.
I mean, like, especially, I don't know if you got, like, I don't know where a lot of you are from. If you're from small towns like we are, there's a lot of roads that don't have lights on them, that most people don't drive. Like, if it's past midnight, there's not a lot of people on the roads, and if they're on the roads past midnight, you don't want them to stop and help you.
Before we started recording where we record now, we recorded at Belle's house, and I would drive home between 12 and 5 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and I would sometimes never pass a car, and it was like probably 15 minutes from her house to my house. I would never pass a car, and like she said, if my car did break down, there's no way I would want anyone stopping and helping me at those hours of the night / morning.
If they're on the road,
I would just hope that someone would realize that I was missing and would come looking for me.
Yeah, which I always made you text me.
Yeah,
when you got home.
I did. Good pal. Good friend.
So I actually have the transcript of his report of the scene.
Oh, so he went to the police?
Oh, yeah. He said, I looked back and saw something running across the field towards me. It was about 25 yards away, and I saw red eyes glowing. I ran into the car, and as I locked it, the thing grabbed the door handle. I could see him from the neck down, the 3 big fingers, long black nails, and green rough skin. It was strong and angry. I looked in my mirror and saw a blur of green running. I could see his toes, and then he jumped on the roof of my car. I thought I heard a grunt, and then I could see his fingers through the front windshield where they curled around the roof. I sped up and swerved to shake the creature off.
Whoa.
That'd be terrifying.
Yeah.
Like, this would be terrifying if this was just a bear.
Okay.
So a giant lizard man.
That is a lot. That's a lot of detail to go into for a story that's just made up. Is it not?
Okay.
I feel like that's...
Here's the thing. There's 2 sides of that. Yes, it could be a lot of detail of a story that's made up, but I recently learned about this. A lot of times when people are lying, they will put a ton of detail into a story so that they can remember it better.
Yeah.
Like, especially if you're trying to, which he's not trying to corroborate with anyone else.
Right.
When you're doing that, then it's more likely for there to be deep detail. But honestly, this kid is, and I'll read about this in a second. This guy's car was messed up.
Oh.
So unless he went to a rager and didn't want to tell his parents about it, but even if he did go to a rager and they messed up his car, one of the other kids would be like, there would be, in small communities like this, there's always talk. So
definitely.
The fact that this happened and he was by himself, and when I read about the damage to the car, a part of me thinks that this giant lizard exists.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
So Christopher Davis then told his father about the incident, and he saw what the car had been through as well. And even his dad was like, I believe you.
Okay, that's saying a lot too, coming from a dad.
Yeah. So with a rear view mirror broken off and scratches along the roof of the vehicle, the police chief, Liston Truesdale, also had evidence of an attack. So that was his evidence.
Yeah.
Everything that happened to that car.
Yeah.
And so even at that point, the police chief was like,
okay,
I think you're telling the truth.
Yeah.
Because like scratches along the roof. And if this was a bear, he would have been like, it was a bear.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think you get a lizard man and a bear mixed up.
As far as I know, lizards and bears look very different.
Yeah, so.
But that was not the last of the reports. A 3-mile radius around Scape Ore Swamp in Bishopville became the lizard man's preying grounds.
Ooh.
The next sighting was July 14th, 1988. So not too long after Davies. Davis. I keep wanting to call him Davey for some reason. It's Davis. When Tom and Mary Wayne's vehicle was attacked, the sides of the car were scratched and dented. The hood ornament was broken. The antenna was bent. Wires from the motor had been ripped out. And it appeared that parts of the molding of the car had been chewed.
Holy cow. I'm assuming they weren't in the car.
Not from any reports that I could find.
Okay.
The only thing that makes me suspicious that this was actually a bear and not the lizard man, there were clumps of hair found.
Oh.
And muddy footprint. Now, the muddy footprints all over the car, that could have been the lizard man.
Right.
It's the clumps of hair.
Yeah.
That I'm like,
Does a lizard man... I mean, obviously, you think he doesn't have hair, but men have hair.
If he had killed other creatures along the way to attack this car, there could have been hair from that.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
That is it. I know around here, I don't think that bears are that aggressive, unless it's a mother with cubs.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to get like food of some sort. They're not normally that aggressive.
No, it literally chewed on the molding of the car.
Yeah, that seems very excessive.
Exactly.
For a bear.
But
again, that's just the bears around here. I don't know. They might be different.
I mean, some people really think that this was all fabricated and it was just a bear. It wasn't the lizard man. Because, lizards don't have
Can bears get rabies?
Don't ask me about rabies. My dad told me that any animal that was out in the daytime had rabies. So
who knows?
I don't know anything about rabies.
Okay, I'll let you continue, and then we'll discuss.
It could have had rabies.
Yeah, I was thinking.
Lizard man
honestly,
has rabies.
Yeah, a bear would kind of make sense for all of these events to have happened around the same time for one singular bear to whatever's wrong with it. I don't know. I don't feel like this is normal.
Yogi got mad.
Yeah, maybe.
But something else occurred around this time as well. 2 deputies went to the scene of Davis's encounter and found a footprint with 3 toes, and it was about 14 inches in length.
The footprint was 14. Huh.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like a normal bear to me.
I thought bears had more toes than 3, but what do I know? They made a few plaster casts, but decided against doing anything further with it, like sending it to the FBI or something. So this really didn't go anywhere.
No, why?
And a lot of people tried to disprove this, and a lot of people have evidence to disprove this and everything like that. So it really is up in the air on whether you want to believe these casts are real or not.
Okay, yeah.
But there's evidence like that with every cryptid.
Right.
So it's really just personal opinion.
Yeah.
Then, of course, as people became interested in this strange and disturbing phenomena, since this thing's apparently trying to kill people at this point, the media, of course, got a hold of it. A nearby radio station, WCOS, offered a $1 million reward to anybody who could capture the creature alive. However, reports of the creature began to decline at the end of the summer, with the last credible sighting being the Waynes. But then things changed. Because then more people found out about this whole $1 million thing.
Yeah.
But on August 5th, 1988, Kenneth Orr of the Shaw Air Force Base reported encountering the lizard man on Highway 15, where he shot and wounded it. Don't know why people shoot at these cryptids. I mean, unless it's attacking you, leave it alone.
But also, there's a $1 million reward that these
alive,
people...
though.
Oh. Well, I guess if it's wounded and not dead...
Yeah, but okay, even still, it would die eventually unless you knew how to treat
a
mythical creature. Unless you knew how to medically treat it.
An amphibian or a lizard?
Would it be an amphibian
or a reptile?
Would you take it to a vet or a doctor?
Good question. Let us know.
Yeah. But he wounded it. He had scales and a small amount of blood to show as evidence. You can get scales from anywhere and blood from anywhere.
Yeah.
So
did we get the blood tested?
No, because listen, he never
Yeah.
made an official report, and then some things changed, and he redacted even his unofficial report after being charged with unlawfully carrying a pistol.
Oh.
And then he was charged with filing a false claim.
Oh. Okay.
Which is like, from what I could read, a huge fine and could possibly be jail time.
All right.
So after this $1 million thing caught wind, Sheriff Truesdale said that at the time that many upstanding citizens of Bishopville claimed on seeing the 7-foot-tall creature, like dependable people.
Right. Yeah.
But not all the stories matched. Some said it had green, scaly body with red eyes or brown, furry body with unusual eye descriptions.
Furry?
Two very different things. But as the $1 million reward got more traction and began to like people around the U.S. started to hear about this, the false claims began to seriously pour in.
Of course, yeah.
And as that continued, the tale died down as time went on. Some even said that the local Air Force was dressing up in a lizard suit. Ha ha ha.
Could you imagine just doing that? It reminds me of
to get shot at.
The frogmen.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Please go listen to that episode if you haven't already.
With their
That's a
little
good
wands.
one. Yeah.
They had a wand.
Yes. Oh,
I love the
man.
Frogman episode.
Me too.
Since then, while stories haven't been constant, they have existed.
Yeah.
In 2005, a woman in Newberry, South Carolina, reported 2 large creatures with green skin and glowing red eyes outside of her home.
That's scary. Wasn't like that.
Yeah, it's horrifying. In 2008, Bob and Dixie Rawson reported strange damage to their car, which press claimed and hoped was the probable return of the lizard man. But local authorities believed it was just some coyote damage. Which I didn't know that coyotes attacked people's cars.
Yeah,
I didn't know that coyotes did that.
What kind of animals do they have in South Carolina?
Demon
Nothing
ones,
like-
obviously. Oh, we did see a shark. We saw a shark in South Carolina. That was random.
Well, I didn't. You did.
No, you didn't. You were under the tent with
I was.
Debbie Sun Boys.
Yeah. I was hot and miserable at the beach. But you saw a shark.
Me, our friend Allie, that we talk about all the time, and Evelyn, my oldest daughter, saw a shark.
It's the way that you say oldest.
I know, I have twins. She's
a minute older.
She's a minute older than her sister. Yeah, we saw a shark. It was a baby shark. It was a baby bullhead shark.
That's so cool.
We're hoping that it will be Evie's first memory.
Yes.
Because we all talked about how all of our first memories are pretty traumatic. So we were like, maybe this will be the one.
Fingers crossed.
Maybe this will be that first traumatic memory. Really scar her. And that'll be it.
Yep.
My first memory is very traumatic. We won't even go into it. But we're hoping that'll be Evie's. Fingers crossed. Pray for us that'll be the one.
Yeah, but a coyote? That's so random.
I know, that's really
Why?
intense. Coyotes run from people most of the time around here.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard coyotes a few
they
times.
Kill small to medium-sized animals, but
yeah.
I don't know. After this episode, I don't even know what I know anymore.
Bears and coyotes are apparently vicious in South Carolina.
Yeah.
We did just spend a week there.
We did. On vacation together.
Yeah, we got to see where old Julia was hung. Or Julie. America's first serial killer.
Yeah.
Female serial killer.
Was that who?
Yeah.
Okay.
What?
What was her name?
Lagar or something like that.
No.
Yeah, I think it was.
Oh, man. This is really going to bother me. We're going to spend half of this episode just talking. You continue.
I'm going to... And then we'll talk about our trip to South Carolina. So in 2010, Josh Gates and the Destination Truth team went to the swamp to investigate. Upon seeing the amount of local merchandising by Lee County Chamber of Commerce, and after finding a footprint in the swamp, they decided it was most likely all fabricated. But you know what? Boo that. It could have existed in the 80s. So while I'm pretty doubtful that Lizard Man exists, I think he could have existed in the 80s.
Yeah.
For sure. There's some weird stuff going on back then. 70s had a bunch of serial killers. 80s had lizard people.
Sure.
You should still totally go visit Bishop, South Carolina. Listen to the guidelines and everything, especially the new ones that have been set up. But eat at some of those local restaurants.
Yeah.
And buy some weird lizard stuff because support Appalachian businesses.
Yeah, that's right.
Strangely enough, for the longest time, I'm always like, that's one thing that is really cool about Appalachia is we have a ton of these weird monsters.
Yeah,
like the middle part of our country is just a bunch of sand, in my opinion, and corn. But, and then
sand?
Like, I don't know. I've never been there. Like Oregon and Washington have like Bigfoot and stuff. We have all the cool ones.
Yeah, it's a very wide range.
Yeah, and so that's why I'm like, if some small little Appalachian towns want to make up some monsters and make some money off of it,
real.
Go for it. Be an entrepreneur.
Yes,
come up with your own cryptide. And so, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if it exists. I'll go to Bishopville. I'll buy a Lizard Man shirt.
I totally would.
own multiple Mothman shirts.
Yeah.
And a couple Flatwoods Fandom shirts.
I love t-shirts, especially weird little creepy t-shirts.
Yeah. That's my thing. When people get upset about people like getting capital off of these little cryptides and stuff, first of all, shove it. Second of all, what else are we going to do? We got to keep history alive.
I know. I was going to say, give us something. Really. What else do we have? Mountains.
History. We have some of the oldest mountains in the U.S.
Yeah.
And in West Virginia is one of the oldest rivers.
Really?
The New River Gorge is one of the oldest rivers in North America.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Also, visit the New River Gorge. It's beautiful.
Oh, it really is so pretty.
There's a really cool bridge. Yeah. If you're a big bridge guy.
That people jump off of and live.
October is Bridge Day. This episode is about South Carolina. Lizard Man, real or fake? You tell us.
Also, America's first female serial killer is Lavinia Fisher.
Why did I say all these women? Their names confuse me.
We've
done
the
so
story
many
here.
Episodes.
We're the worst podcast hosts ever.
We've done so many episodes at this point.
It's only going to get worse from here too, so please lower your standards.
Lavinia Fisher. We got to go. That's Lizard Man is over now. Now we're going to talk about our vacation. We got to go to see. We went on a ghost tour with Allie. If you go on our Instagram, I'll be posting more pictures of that along the way. But we got to go see where Lavinia Fisher was hung.
Yep. That was fun.
Almost spoiled it for the rest of the tour. Because we were like, I was like, wait a second, isn't this where Lavinia Fisher is at? America's first serial killer?
And thankfully we were in the front with the tour guide.
Yeah. And the tour guide was like, guys, spoilers. And we were like, sorry, we have a podcast.
Well, no, she was talking about podcasts. She was like,
oh, yeah.
Do you guys listen to any like true crime podcasts? We were like, actually.
We have one. Not to brag or anything.
Yeah. If she did look up our podcast, shout out.
Rachel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm glad you remembered.
I did remember her name.
Shout out to Rachel. She was awesome. She was so funny. She did such a good job.
If you're ever in Charleston, go to the, what is it, Death and Depravity?
Yes. Yeah.
Go to the Death and Depravity tour. We really had a great time, and it's worth the money. You learn a lot about, some of the stuff that we've told you, but also we learned a ton of new stuff. Yeah. And got to just go to some really cool locations in Charleston.
We learned about Edgar Allan Poe, which was unexpected.
We'll do an episode about him eventually.
Yeah. Really interesting stuff.
Annabelle Lee.
Yep.
A ton of stuff. It was really awesome.
George Washington.
Yeah,
right?
That was random. I didn't realize he was so tall.
I didn't either.
But yeah, definitely. If you're in, they're not sponsoring us. I wish they would. But,
yeah, please.
If you're in South Carolina, go to the Death and Depravity tour. I don't remember what the tour company's called. Yeah,
I don't either.
Go hang out with Rachel. We had a really great time.
We did.
We were nerding out for sure.
Oh yeah.
But make sure to tell us what you think about Lizard Man. Send us an email, AppalachianMM. I think that's our email. I always get it wrong.
It is
at Gmail. Also follow us on Twitter at AMMPod1, on TikTok we still haven't posted anything, but we might one day. At AMM Pod, Instagram.
At AMM Pod.
That is
Facebook.
where we post all of our news.
Yeah, seriously.
So if you...
We'll post pictures. Well, I mean, we always post about our new episodes.
Like I said last week, we have a ton of like new announcements and stuff on there all the time.
We went live. It was very scary, but we made it through. So hopefully there will be more where that came from.
Especially when Smiley is in Morgantown. Which by the time this episode comes out, she will be in Morgantown.
Yep. I will be. You can also like us on Facebook at Appalachian Monsters and Mysteries, and like our YouTube channel.
We have
Appalachian Monsters and Mysteries
out on there now.
Yes.
So make sure that you watch them to see mine and Miley's facial expressions because we're hilarious.
Yeah, we are.
Our faces are also funny like our voices are.
Yeah, true. I feel like the videos are definitely going to be more entertaining.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure. Well, thank you guys for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us. Or watching now at this point, yeah.
Oh. Bye.
Bye.